Welcome to everyone, and thank you for being here for the UFC 315 press conference in Montreal. My name is David Shaw, and I'm the Executive Vice President of International and Content for the UFC. I'd like to take this opportunity to thank Tourism Montreal and the Centre Bell for welcoming us back to Montreal. As you all know, Montreal is where everything started for the UFC, dating back to UFC 83, St. Pierre versus Serra 2 in 2008. We're excited to deliver a truly international event this May with UFC 315, Muhammad versus Della Maddalena. Tickets go on sale this Friday through Ticketmaster at 10 a.m. Eastern, or today through UFC Fight Pass and UFC Fight Club, as well as the newsletter and our social channels tomorrow. I'd like to now introduce some of the great athletes who will be competing on May 10th. First to the stage is Montreal's own and 13th ranked bantamweight contender, Aiemann Zahabi. Aiemann will be competing against UFC legend and one of the best of all time, Jose Aldo, on May 10th. Next up is number 9 UFC flyweight contender and Ontario native, Jasmine Jasudavicius, facing former champion Jessica Andrade. And in the UFC 315 co-main event, up next is French flyweight title challenger and number 2 ranked Manon Fiorot. Please welcome to the stage the pound-for-pound #1 women's fighter in the world and flyweight champion, Valentina Shevchenko. Next up is one half of our main event, UFC welterweight title challenger, flying all the way just for today and for last night's Habs game, Jack Della Maddalena. And last but not least, the other half of our main event, the UFC welterweight champion, Belal Muhammad. We'd like to now open up the floor for questions from the group today. Hey, Mike.
Not sure if, there we go. Yep. For Belal, I know you have been very open about you feel Georges St. Pierre is the greatest welterweight of all time. To come and fight in his backyard and defend that title here that has so much history behind it, does that hold any significance to you?
Oh, yeah, it holds a lot of significance. Like you said, he's the welterweight GOAT, and that's what I'm chasing. I'm chasing to be like him. So to be able to fight in the same arena as him, feel that same energy, just watching back his old fight against Matt Serra, right? How the crowd was going nuts, crazy. I just can't wait to fight for these fans and put on a show. And I'm hoping he's sitting there front row and he says, I like this next generation.
Impressed with your performance?
Yeah, that's what I'm looking for, right? I'm always wanting to be impressed, but to have like him look at it like he's the next guy, I like it. That's all you want, right? To have the, the satisfaction and the awareness of your peers to know how good you are. That's what I want, especially to have it from somebody like Georges St. Pierre would be amazing.
And a bit of a curveball here with the opponent. We thought it was going to be Shavkat. At what point did you kind of get word that it might be something else coming for this title defense?
It was all over the place. Like, they didn't tell us, and they told us it wasn't going to be Shavkat, then it was this guy or that guy. And for me, like, it doesn't matter, right? Whether it's Shavkat, Leon, Jack, they're all going to lose. I'm the best in the world, and I don't care who's in front of me. I want to fight the next best guy up. So he had the best streak. He's running hot right now, and I plan on cooling him down.
Yeah, and for you, Jack, obviously a hard trip, but a huge opportunity. When you got the call, I guess what was the first reaction on your end?
Yeah, it was an easy decision. It's what we all, as UFC fighters, MMA fighters, we all chase to be #1, and yeah, that's what I'm chasing. So it was an easy yes for me.
For Valentina and Manon, there was a lot of back and forth online going into this fight before it was made. Valentina, I know you proposed kind of the retirement angle of this. Did we settle on this? What are the stakes for this fight beyond the belt? Is there a retirement bet as well?
I tell that it's interesting that Manon, she's kind of like saying about herself that she's from karate person, and I know that karate, it's all about the respect, about the like huge things like being right martial artist. But after this throwing comments online in Twitter, it looks like she's doing not karate, she's coming like from Savat.
Any thoughts on that, Manon?
peux avoir la
Kate, do you
traduction.
want to translate the last comments?
Yeah, there was just a lot of back and forth online between these two. Talk of a retirement bet. Can we just know where she stands on all that? Just the build up to the fight. There was a lot of back and forth online.
Il demande à propos du build-up pour ce combat qu'il y a eu beaucoup d'années est venu en ligne, qu'il y a eu beaucoup de commentaires qui se sont faits en ligne. Il veut savoir ce que tu en penses.
Oui, c'est juste que ça fait un moment que j'attendais ce combat. Ça fait plus d'un an que j'ai pas combattu. J'ai laissé faire la trilogie. J'étais présente pour le combat, le dernier combat de Valentina contre Alexa Grasso. J'étais backup. Je pensais qu'elle allait prononcer mon nom déjà après le combat. Ça n'a pas été le cas. J'attendais après qu'elle prononce mon nom pour être sûr que je sois la prochaine challengeuse. Et c'était légitime puisque j'étais sur 7 victoires d'affilée. Et en fait, elle n'a jamais prononcé mon nom. Donc voilà, j'ai commencé à envoyer ces messages sur Twitter parce que pour moi, j'étais légitime et je devais être la prochaine. C'est tout.
I was present when Valentina fought the last time, and I was expecting her to say my name in the octagon, and she didn't, and I was pretty disappointed. So that's it.
About herself. She's thinking that I have to call her name and something like that. No, it's enough that she's calling my name.
And just lastly, for both Jasmine and Aiemann, a lot of talk about, where Canadian MMA stands and things like that. Here you are, Aiemann, fighting a UFC Hall of Famer, Jasmine, a future UFC Hall of Famer. What could this night mean for, I guess, you two becoming contenders and the future of MMA here with these potential two big wins?
Jasmine, go ahead.
Sorry. Me? Oh, okay. Sorry. No, it to be up here and to kind of like be able to do this and be with such great fighters up here, and to be coming to Montreal where GSP started, like you were saying, and for us to be able to kind of continue on in the footsteps of the great, it kind of is like surreal for me personally to kind of be here. I feel like Canada really, it's been, MMA has been growing in Canada so much, and the support is unbelievable. And I'm just like super looking forward to like fighting and putting a show on in front of the fans. And hopefully like GSP and everyone is there as well.
Yeah, for me, it's I'm gonna hit a lot of dreams all at once. First dream's fighting in the Bell Center for the UFC, the biggest MMA organization in the world. Dream come true for me, May 10th. Another one is to fight one of the greatest of all time, Jose Aldo. I'm happy to have my name next to his name. It's great for me. It's great for my team. And the last one, it's in New York. I thought it was going to be the night GSP would pass the torch to me. I was the first fight of the night, and GSP was fighting Bisping. And I kind of dropped the ball in round 3. I got knocked out with a spinning elbow. It went all over the world. Everyone saw that video. It was a rough 2 years for me after that. But I'm looking to redeem myself on the big stage here in Montreal and finally run with that torch for Canada.
Question for Belal. So Montreal has deep roots with the UFC and the welterweight division, especially with GSP, who famously defeated Matt Serra here at the Bell Center in 2008. Coming into the arena now, describe to me how it feels now that you two will be sharing the same arena.
It's amazing, right? It's surreal because even before I was in the UFC, I came down to Montreal to train at TriStar for a week, and it was just like maybe GSP would be here or something like that. You want to follow those footsteps to be able to learn from him, learn from his coaches. We were here for only a week. We didn't get to catch him, but still, to be able to fight now in Montreal, it comes full circle. Now I'm the welterweight champion, something that I've always wanted, and I finally got it. And now that I'm the headliner, I'm going to put on the show, and I'm going to make it an amazing night for myself and the fans.
Follow-up question is, so how does it feel to be in Montreal and bring the UFC back for the first time in arguably about 10 years?
I can't wait, right? I gotta make a statement with this. They haven't been here forever. The fans are dying for a big show, a good show, and I think everybody on this card is hungry, and I can't wait to be the one to put a stamp on it.
And then one last one for Valentina. So Valentina, you are arguably the greatest women's flyweight champion of all time. What are your keys to victory against someone who hasn't seen an L on their record since 2018?
Oh, the key is simple: to be the best and win the fight. It's like it was from the beginning when I started training martial arts. When I started when I was 5 years old, it always was my goal. It's not compete just for competition. It's not just for having fun. No, it's for the victory. This is the goal, the main goal. And no matter who in front of me, I really don't care. I always been like that fighter who doesn't matter who, doesn't matter where and when. So I'm ready to fight and I'm ready to put the best of me, the best of my performance, and just like less than 3 months ahead of us for the hard training camp and put the show for the Canadian fans in Montreal and make this fight card unbelievable.
Pour Manon, après avoir battu Valentina, tu seras la première championne undisputed de l'histoire de la France. Qu'est-ce que ça te fait? Just after beating Valentina, you will be the first French MMA fighter to become undisputed UFC champion. How does it feel?
Ça me fait vraiment, c'est quelque chose de très bien pour moi puisque je vais être la première en fait championne française. Après, c'est pas le fait que je sois la première. Moi, le but depuis le début de l'UFC, c'était de prendre la ceinture. Bien sûr, c'est quelque chose de plus d'être la première. Ça va être vraiment une grande fierté pour moi, pour le pays. Et voilà, j'espère que je vais être la première. Et
Peut esquiver depuis à Valentina et Grasso depuis.
Oui, c'est ça. En fait, ça a été compliqué. Ça fait 1 an que j'attends ce combat. Il y a eu cette trilogie. Après la trilogie, il s'est passé encore beaucoup de temps avant que j'ai le combat. Après, on a même vu Welling qui a été mis peut-être pour ce combat aussi. Donc ça a été très compliqué pour moi. Mais après, voilà, j'ai continué à m'entraîner dur. Ça fait 1 an que je m'entraîne pour ça. Et voilà, je viens ici vraiment pour prendre cette ceinture.
Merci beaucoup.
Merci.
Question pour Aiemann. Qu'est-ce que ça fait, alors tu en as un petit peu parlé, mais qu'est-ce que ça te fait de te battre contre une légende, un Hall of Famer, José Aldo, en plus à la maison? How does it feel to fight a true legend like José Aldo? And le dernier à l'avoir fini, c'est Peter Yan. Est-ce que tu vises un finish?
Oui, c'est un grand honneur pour moi pour me battre contre Aldo. Ça faut faire comme ce serait un gros nom que je peux mettre sur mon record, qui va me donner un peu plus de respect dans le top 15. Donc, parce que là, même maintenant, beaucoup de monde me doute. Me doute mes skills, me doute comment je peux faire contre les meilleurs dans ce sport. Mais moi, j'ai aucun doute. Je suis quelqu'un avec beaucoup de discipline, quelque chose que j'ai appris de Georges. Moi, je suis un ami de Georges depuis que j'ai 16 ans. Donc, je l'ai vu battre ici au Centre Bell plein de fois. Et j'en ai appris beaucoup de lui. Et même quand je l'ai appelé, quand j'ai reçu le nom Aldo, que j'ai dit oui, que je veux me battre contre lui, la chose qu'il me dit en premier, c'est que je peux le battre, mais la chose que je ne peux pas faire, c'est de le trop respecter, de ne pas me mettre en dessous de lui. Juste parce que c'est une légende, ça ne change pas qu'il est humain. T'sais. Il va se fatiguer comme un humain, il saigne comme un humain. Donc, il n'y a rien de spécial, juste qu'il a battu plein de gens, c'est sûr, c'est une légende. Mais le 10 mai, c'est ma soirée à moi et je viens pour gagner. Si je peux le finir, j'aimerais ça beaucoup. Si je peux lui envoyer en retraite, ça serait bien aussi. Je voulais finir Pedro, je voulais être le premier à le knocker. Au 3e round, j'ai frappé beaucoup de fois avec des mains droites, mais c'est quelqu'un qui est très, très durable. Puis je n'étais pas capable de le knocker. Mais Aldo s'est fait finir par KO, il était KO dans le passé. Donc je pense que j'ai plus de chances de le passer par KO que j'ai avec Pedro. Pedro s'est jamais passé par KO. Et je suis très fier de représenter Montréal et Canada, les Québécois aussi. Et je vais vous faire tout fier le 10 mai.
Merci beaucoup. One question for Belal. For the past few months, we've heard a lot about your boxing. Will you be able to stay standing against Jack?
Will I be able to be standing? No. Will he be able to be keeping up with my boxing? I have the best striker in the welterweight division. I'm the best grappler. I'm the best wrestler. I'm the best fighter. You've seen it. Leon Edwards, he was the next one up. He was the GOAT. He knocked out Kamaru Usman, and I made it look easy. I'm going to make it look easy May 10th. People are just going to keep doubting me, and I'm just going to keep breaking those barriers. I'm going to keep showing you guys I'm the best fighter in the world. He's coming out of the kiddie pool, and he's going straight into the deep end of the ocean. This is going to be a bad night for him, and you guys are going to see it May 10th.
Thank you. Jack?
Easy up until the last 30 seconds, and then it wasn't so easy, but we'll see what happens.
Thank you.
It's gonna feel, how does it feel to beat like this or whatever, but how you can feel something that never gonna happen.
Ma question est pour Manon. Manon, qu'est-ce que ça représente? Est-ce que tu es consciente de l'impact que ça représente en France, ta présence à ce combat-là, et l'impact que ça peut avoir sur le sport et le sport féminin en France?
Oui, j'espère que ça va motiver encore plus de personnes. C'est vrai qu'en France, on était un des derniers pays à légaliser ce sport. Et le fait d'avoir bientôt, on a déjà de nombreux Français qui sont classés à l'UFC. Et j'espère que pouvoir faire encore plus exploser le sport en France avec ce titre pour mon pays.
Et as-tu l'impression que Valentina te respecte? The question was, do you feel like Valentina has respect for you?
Non, puisqu'elle n'a jamais prononcé mon nom. Comme j'ai dit, j'étais déjà présente pour le combat. J'étais backup à la fin du combat. Je pensais qu'elle allait m'appeler pour le prochain. Ça n'a pas été le cas. Après, il y a eu encore de longs mois d'attente en fait, avant d'avoir ce combat. Donc non, je ne pense pas.
Question for both fighters. What kind of fight should we expect? À quel genre de combat on devrait s'attendre entre Valentina et toi?
Je pense que ça va être un combat très explosif. On est deux grandes strikeuses. Voilà, moi je vais tout faire pour finir ce combat, prendre la ceinture vraiment d'une belle manière devant le public ici à Montréal.
And what type of fight should we expect?
Oh, the same. It's gonna be pure martial arts. It's gonna be everything, like beautiful violence. It's like this is what we are doing. We are getting ready for the fight 100%, and we are, me especially, I given my best in all my fights. Doesn't matter where the fight gonna lead. And being martial artist, mixed martial artist, it's give me opportunity to use everything, because martial arts, mixed martial arts, it's all about being a universal fighter. It's not about only wrestling or boxing or something else. Being MMA fighter, it's kind of like you have everything. You can be like perfect boxer, you can be perfect wrestler, Muay Thai fighter, kicker, and everything like that. So we have like eternity of options to choose what we're gonna use for the show, what we're gonna put in the octagon, inside of the octagon.
Hi. Question for Valentina and Belal. Just change of topic here. I wonder why. How much fun did you have last night at the Canadiens game, at the hockey game? I saw the crowd was cheering you on. So a little bit of a preview from what you can expect in May 10th.
I think Belal had a lot of fun. I just saw the video. He knocked out the mascot. It was cool, like sidekick and then knee. So yeah, I think it was amazing event. And leading to the hockey game, like we was like UFC PR teams. They showed me a few clips about how hockey players were fighting, and they said like, oh, it's happened just like 3 fights in a row, just in first 90 seconds. And I was like first coming to the game, and I like, okay, this is gonna be the fight, and I was waiting for the fight. But yeah, and I think it was amazing, huge, like energizing spirit. What was inside of the game, and knowing that it's gonna be our arena where we're gonna fight, and it's gave like, yeah, you are here, you are like, and know what to expect. And I think the fact that UFC coming back after 10 years to Montreal, and the fans gonna be the same way as it happened in UFC 261 when I fought in UFC Jacksonville. It was just right after the pandemic when the first event happened with the fans, and oh my God, it was insane. And I think it's gonna be something very similar.
Yeah, I'm excited for it. Just feeling the energy in the crowd. And like Valentina said, we were kind of disappointed there was no fighting in the first 5 seconds. But, you know, they got the win, so it was cool to see. But excited, yeah. Every fan was pumped. They're all going crazy. And like you said, we haven't been here in 10 years. So I just can't imagine the energy that's going to come out of that night. And when the energy's crazy, the fights are going to be better.
Thank you. Question for JDM over here. You've had quite the chaotic past couple of weeks. I mean, considering you were scheduled to fight Leon in London, and now you're fighting for the belt. I mean, talk to me about what it means to have this opportunity come May 10th.
Yeah, it's a big change. I was ready to go. I think London is about 3-4 weeks away, and yeah, so I was pretty fit. I was ready to go. Big fight, and then obviously got the opportunity. So it was an easy decision. Bit of a change in opponent, but I'm pretty confident I can get the win. So yeah, I'm ready to tackle the next few weeks, sharpen the tools, and come in the best version of myself.
And when exactly did you find out about this fight change-up?
It was UFC Sydney a couple of weeks ago. I found out that Shavkat had pulled out of the fight. So then, yeah, I was sort of just sitting on it for a week. That I thought possibly they might change it around, so we're just waiting. But then it was the following week, got the call, and yeah, I guess that's the call you wait for your whole career, and pretty excited.
Thank you. And then a question for Aiemann. How do you mentally prepare for this fight against a legend in Jose Aldo, especially in your hometown of Montreal?
Well, I hired a mindset coach for my last fight. It was actually one of my friends. He manages fighters for BKFC as well. And one of the champions has this guy as a mindset coach, and he was talking to me about it. I'm like, hey, why don't we give it a try? And I won 4 straight without him. And then I hired him because you never know. You can always get that little extra edge, especially fighting a guy who's, has the most fight in the UFC bantamweight division. So it was interesting to do. And the number one thing we focus on is, as long as I'm grateful every single day about many different things, it's easy to come to the fight. I'm the man in the arena. There are millions of people who are fans on all the sports around the world, but only a few get to fight in the arena or to compete on the field or in the rink or things like that. So what kind of father would I be? What kind of husband would I be? What kind of person would I be if I didn't show up with courage? I have to see the fear and just go through it and be courageous. I do it for myself. I do it for my family. I do it for the fans. I do it for everybody. It's a moment so many people wish they can have. Why would I spoil it with being afraid? I should show up and be courageous. So that's how I deal with it.
And I have a question for Jasmine over here. Hi. So how does it feel to be fighting on this card representing Canada and ultimately Canadian MMA?
It feels amazing. I always love fighting in Canada. I feel like my best performances are always in Canada. I feel like walking out, I have like Canada on my back. I really feel like the love and support that I get from the Canadians. So after my last fight, I was like, oh, I'm gonna take some time off. I fought 7 times since 23. I'm like very, very active. I'm like, I need a little bit of a break. But once I heard it was Montreal, and then like the opponent came about, and that I got like, what an amazing experience that it can be if I just kind of pull up my socks and get to it. And I feel like I gotta keep this momentum going, and I can't wait to fight in Montreal. I've spent a lot of time here when I was younger with my friends and enjoying the city, and now to be able to come here and fight in front of the crowd for the Montreal fans, I know how hyped that they're gonna be, being able to have a UFC here after 10 years, and so it's gonna be like my honor to represent Canada that night.
Thank you. And final one from me for Belal. So you and JDM share a common opponent in Gilbert Burns, who is also going to be fighting on this card. I mean, what did you make of JDM's last performance at UFC 299?
You learn a lot, right? I think what he showed in that fight is he has heart. He's going to fight until the end. There wasn't a break in him. When I fought Leon, I knew that he was going to break. So with JDM, I'm just going to have to work a little bit harder to find that break. Like I said, all these guys, when they get into cage with me and they step across, it's different. He beat Gilbert Burns, but Gilbert Burns is not me. He beat this guy, he's not me. He's on this streak, but he hasn't fought anybody like me or anybody even close to being me. When he gets into the cage with me, it's going to be fighting the best welterweight in the world, and he's going to realize there's levels.
Oui, bonjour. 2 questions pour Aiemann. D'abord, tu parlais tantôt comme quoi tu as eu une période difficile après tes défaites.
Oui.
Je veux savoir d'abord comment tu as vécu cette période-là et comment tu as fait pour la traverser ou t'en remettre si tu veux.
Oui, j'ai lu beaucoup de livres sur les aspects mentaux pour essayer de trouver les réponses parce que après que j'ai passé KO à New York, J'ai passé comme 18 mois pour me récupérer, pour avoir le deuxième combat. Puis je pensais que c'était correct. Je pensais que je faisais assez dans les sparring et tout. Mais quand la porte est fermée pour mon combat contre Vince Morales ici à Ottawa, j'ai réalisé que je n'étais pas aussi préparé que je pensais. Et durant ce combat, j'avais beaucoup d'anxiety. Et ça montait à chaque round. Puis je n'étais pas capable de me battre confortablement durant le combat. J'avais pas beaucoup de confiance. Et après ce combat-là, j'avais plus honte de perdre comme ça, par décision, sans être capable de me battre à 100%, que perdre par KO. Parce que le combat que j'ai perdu par KO, j'ai tout donné. Et j'étais pris par un spinning elbow. Tu sais, c'était la deuxième fois que ça arrive à l'UFC. Je ne veux pas dire comme un lucky punch, c'était plus ma faute. Comme j'ai baissé mes défenses, puis j'étais pris par un coup que j'ai même pas vu venir. Et donc, je voulais plus sentir comme ça. Et j'ai décidé de me lancer dans mes entraînements à 100% et jamais laisser une doute quand je rentre dans la cage. Et d'après ce deuxième combat que j'ai perdu, j'en ai gagné 5 de suite. Et je travaille de plus en plus fort à chaque fois. Je monte mon conditionnement, je monte je travaille toujours sur mes faiblesses pour que j'en ai moins à chaque combat. Donc, il y a moins de trous dans mon game. Et c'est de là que je prends ma confiance.
Et deuxième question, pardon. En cas de victoire contre Aldo, tu en as parlé un petit peu tantôt, mais quel impact tu penses que ça peut avoir sur ta carrière, disons, à moyen ou à long terme, disons?
Ouais, si je le bats, ça va être une grande chose pour ma carrière. Même si tu regardes, quand il a perdu contre Mario Bautista, je sais que la décision était vraiment proche. Mais même que tout le monde haït Bautista, qui a explosé sur l'Internet, sur les sociaux et tout ça. Donc, il est devenu beaucoup plus populaire. Même si je le bats ou si je perds contre lui, au moins que si je performe, je lui donne une guerre, je ne peux pas perdre. Je peux pas perdre. C'est pour ça que c'est tellement une bonne opportunité. C'est pas nécessaire de gagner le combat. Moi, je rentre là pour le passer par KO. Je veux le finir. Je pense que ça serait très bon pour mon record. Mais je viens pour performer.
Merci.
Merci.
Question for Valentina. One of your title defenses was against Jessica Andrade, who Jasmine is facing. Do you have any sort of tips for her on how she can do well against Jessica Andrade, given your experience?
It's interesting question, actually. We have good relationship with Jessica after my fight, and I would let this thing handle between them two. I mean, Jessica and...
Let's hear it. Come on, a little bit.
Yes, looks like he is. He wants this beef. So I think it's just thing between two of them. And this is the most important, because when it's, as I'm every time saying, the door of octagon is closing, there is no more advices, and everyone will rely on their own abilities, qualities, and knowledge of martial arts.
For Jack, tell me about your journey to get here from Australia to Canada to be part of this press conference, and how long it took to get here, just so that people know.
Yeah, it's a big journey from Perth, Western Australia. It was good, about 30 hours on the plane, but all worth it for sure.
What time is it for you right now? Have you adjusted to where you're at?
It's the opposite part of the globe, and opposite time of the clock. I think it's 12 hours. So I don't really know what time zone I'm on, but it's all good.
And how excited are you for this opportunity? Of course, Belal Muhammad's a great champion, and you would be the youngest UFC champion once Ilia Topuria's belt gets relinquished, if you are able to beat Belal. What would that mean to you?
Yeah, of course, it's something I've been working for many years, and it's dream come true. I've always pushed hard to fight better and better opponents, and then here we've got the top dog. So I look forward to going out there, putting on a good show, getting the win, and then becoming champion, and then continuing the reign.
Thanks, Jack.
They say that it takes 1 hour for proper adjustment, for 1 hour difference of time zone change. It takes 1 day for adjustment. So I think, Jack, you are somewhere in the middle of Pacific Ocean.
I used to work this out.
All right, so here's what we're going to do. We've got a couple of the athletes, Jasmine, Jasudavicius, and Aiemann Zahabi, who do not have opponents. We're going to give them an opportunity to come up on stage. Once we clear this out, 4 photos as individuals, and then we're going to square off the main and the co-main event. So thanks to everyone for being here today. We appreciate the support for the UFC. We're very much looking forward to being back here on May 10th. Give us a couple minutes, and we'll set things up on the stage here.